Hey Royal Family, it's Cash Me Out. I am Queen Supreme back at you again for another video. Now, I just wanted to state that I'm having so much trouble getting this Fox 26 interview of Maleah Davis and Maleah Davis's mother and 26’s. I've never had issues getting the full video. However, in this case, I am having issues securing that one video. And I want to get the whole video because news clips can easily be edited, and you know, we don't do that over here. When I present you news clips or interviews, I do not cut things out of them or anything like that. And basically, even if I don't secure Fox 26's interview, we are just going to go ahead with the two interviews that we have. I think those are damaging enough. However, here are some highlights of Fox 26's interview with Brittany Bowens and 26’ the other day, the one that I'm having a hard trouble securing. If anybody has or has seen the whole news clip or interview on this, please leave that link in the description. I will definitely upload it. I'm just having a hard time finding the whole thing. Like I found the other two whole ones. I want that one too. So with no further ado, let's jump into the highlights of Fox 26's interview with Brittany Bowens and 26’. Let's go.
Disappeared here in Houston. Thank you for joining us. I'm Caitlin Monty.
And I'm Jonathan Martin. Tonight, an exclusive interview with Maleah's mother. Brittany Bowens says she wants answers more than anyone else. But as Fox 26's Dominique Keith tells us tonight, not everyone believes Bowens is really in the dark about what happened to her daughter.
She found herself in the midst of a mob with people screaming at her, calling her guilty in her 4-year-old daughter's disappearance.
I mean, everything was just overwhelming. I've never had to ever deal with those kind of things. I mean, you see things like that on TV.
But this is real life. Brittany Bowens is really waking up every day without her baby girl, really attempting to sleep at night while Maleah is missing and has been for nearly 2 weeks.
Unbearable. You know, I've taken a lot of losses. But I don't know if I can take this one.
Bowens has lived under a cloud of suspicion since her daughter disappeared. So did she have a hand in whatever happened to Maleah?
Because I love my children unconditionally, no matter what. It's absurd to me that somebody would think that I would have something to do with that.
Darian Vence, Bowens' ex-fiancé, is charged in connection with Maleah's disappearance. Vence and Bowens broke up shortly before Bowens went out of town, which is also in question, but Bowens says she did attend her father's funeral May 1st in Massachusetts. So why did she leave her daughter with Vence? She says she didn't have the money to take Maleah with her.
This is a financially struggling family, living from nickel to nickel.
It's hard because I feel like I haven't had a chance to grieve. I'm still stuck.
Bowens says it was after Maleah went missing when she learned Vence was keeping secrets regarding her daughter.
I don't have no feelings for him at this point.
That he had not always taken her to daycare, like he said, and would wait till she go to work or go to school, then bring Maleah back into the house.
Me and her had a great bond. She was my only daughter. We did everything together.
But there was that traumatic brain injury Maleah suffered and the severe problems that followed.
Her skull wasn't forming the way it should have, so they had to perform a surgery on her.
According to criminal court records, CPS was looking into the family because of Maleah's injuries even before the 4-year-old disappeared. But Bowens isn't discussing that investigation. This is what she does say about her daughter's severe injury.
I feel like it's not enough. I can tell you it's traumatizing, but that...
She says she also has moments of doubt that her daughter is still alive.
I'm going back and forth. I do. I'm all over the place. I don't know how to feel. I don't even know how to think right now. I'm so traumatized.
Bowen says she is praying to find out what happened to her daughter and holding on to hope that Maleah or her body will be found.
Now, as I know you guys noticed that every time certain questions came up, 26’ was there to, again, everybody that was asking very vital and important questions in this case. Brittany can sit here and act like she didn't know nothing. And again, if you pay attention in this interview, or these highlights of this interview, I should say, you will notice that it's always me, I, how this affected me, I again, right? Well, I think it's important to state that the initial reason why the children were removed from CPS, according to CPS, the removal was due to allegations of physical abuse, looking at investigating just the mom in August related to Maleah's head injury, which required several brain surgeries. Now, the only reason why Craig was brought into this is because he is the biological parent of Maleah. So that's how it goes in any case. However, as you know, Quanell X definitely stopped her numerous times in the interview when it came to the abuse allegations of Maleah, as well as, again, this whole thing about her not knowing that he was molesting her daughter. However, now she all of a sudden knows. I call bullshit. And again, I want this whole interview because I'm going to go in. Like, so if anybody sees a link to this or whatever, I've been looking high and low and I have not seen this whole interview. However, I've seen the other ones, obviously, but not this one. But like I said, if I do not have this interview, if I do not secure this interview, then I'm just gonna go in because this lady is bullshit. I see forced tears. I see putting all the blame on somebody else when initially it was her responsibility. When she got with Darian, she already had them 2 kids. It was her responsibility to take care of them 2 kids. She knew that Darian wasn't shit, and she continued to be with him. It was only until the alleged dick pictures came up that she was basically done. She knew about this abuse. But then again, remember that in, what was it, the KHOU 11 interview, she stated that there was no abuse. So how was there abuse but there was no abuse? I'm lost. I'm so lost. She states that she don't know how Maleah got hurt and this, that, and the fifth. But I guarantee that your children are not going to have that type of brain damage or injury from just falling off of a chair. Period. Point blank. And she continued to be in the hospital. It wasn't just one event that happened, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And then it just, no, this child had half of her skull removed. They should have removed this child and never gave her back to her mom. Not only this child, but the siblings of this child. I'm not buying her little tears. It's 2 weeks too late. I'm not buying none of it. Oh, this poor little mother and she thought and all this. And no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I feel like she well enough knows what happened. Royal family, it's important to remember that these kids were removed August of 2018. And at that time, she was with Darian. And in the report, it states that the kids were removed because of the mother's abuse. Now, I'm not saying that Darian was not in there abusing people. However, I believe that he learned this behavior from her. I believe that initially, when they started their relationship, she displayed some behavior towards her children, and Darian picked up on that, and he felt like it was okay to do it because she showed him that. I feel like this finger pointing thing that she's doing to Darian is only allowing all them extra fingers to point then back at her. Because yes, Darian is responsible for whatever happened to Maleah, but Brittany is responsible too. And I don't care at all this little pity me or, you know, I never knew and I never thought and this, that, and the fifth. It's crazy that you know that he was molesting your child. You know that he was not bringing her to the daycare, or he was bringing her to the daycare and then sneaking her back home, but you allegedly didn't know it when you could have saved your daughter from that abuse. I'm not buying it. I don't buy that Brittany had no way or shape or form to know what was going on, and none of this falls on her. I also don't buy it because, remember, royal family, I showed you what Quanell X does. He sells news interviews. He sells him being allegedly an attorney / spokesperson for the family in need. Royal family, we're seeing the same type of behavior from Quanell X in this case as we've seen in the other things that I brought to you on Quanell X, on the truth of Quanell X. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Quanell X is selling interviews and acting like he's helping people and this, that, and the fifth, collecting money and all this and that, and bringing no justice to people. There is no way that he could bring Brittany any justice for Maleah, because Brittany is excluded out of receiving justice. You can't receive justice for some shit that you knew and you had participation in. She may not have stuffed Maleah in that bag. She may not have tried to get her tissues and whatever down the drain. She may not have been there to dismember Maleah. She may not have been there during them portions of time. However, she was negligent in the care of her child. Now, this is not my commentary on the interviews that I've already shown you. This is just my commentary on these highlights. When I do look at Brittany Bowens' interviews, I get, or anytime she's on camera, I get irritated because this lady is such a piece of shit. I'm not believing that you're just gonna push all the blame on Darian. Hell yeah, he's responsible, but she's just as responsible too. And while she's sitting around here running around like she's the mother of the year and pity me and this is how the fuck all this happened, I'm the victim and all this. No, Maleah is the victim. I could give a fuck less about Brittany. Maleah is the victim. She talk about she's been failed and she's took too many losses. No, Maleah took too many losses by having you as a mother. All them brain injuries, I couldn't imagine my children going and having those same brain injuries that Maleah received. Half of her skull removed because of her negligence. And in reality, because of her abuse, because that's why the kids were removed. It wasn't because of no chair and all this and that. They believed that Brittany was abusing that child. It stated nowhere in there about Darian abusing the children. Do I believe that Darian was abusing the children? Yes, I do. I do not believe that it was only Maleah. However, I believe the sexual abuse may have only been Maleah. But the abuse, the physical abuse, was all them kids. Probably even his. Now, he probably treated his kid a little bit better than her kids. However, he was short-tempered with his child as well. I feel that. Now, this ain't my commentary, again, on this Fox, these interviews that have been brought to the light. This is not my commentary on those, because we gonna dig deep. This is gonna be better than that. But, on these highlights, come on, like, that's all we ever hear is pity me, and you know what I mean? I don't care about Brittany. I care about Maleah. That's who was failed in this situation. And if it would have continued to go unchecked, how many other victims in that home would there have been? Because to me, it seems like Brittany's that type of mom that would sit on the couch and allow her child to be abused, both sexually and physically, just to secure a man being in that home 24/7. She has very low self-esteem. And coming from somebody that's been through traumatic abuse, I'm not buying it. It's not enough to just say I was abused and, that's why and shit. I'm not buying it. Sell that shit to somebody else. It's an excuse. If you had really endured all that abuse, you would have protected your child. But royal family, these are just the highlights in Fox 26's, little interview of Brittany Bowens. I do want that whole video. So if anybody has a link or anything, please let me know so I can get it. I'm having so much trouble getting it. But even if I don't secure that, I will be going in on the other two I have, because like I said, there's enough gems in there for all of us, royal family. Now, I'm gonna bring you next this video from this gentleman that also pointed out that everything is about me, and I with Brittany. That video will be coming to you next, royal family. Stay you, stay uncompromisable, stay woke. Please leave your opinions in the comment section. Your guys' comments are stellar, and I love reading them. Shout out to the royal family. Much love. Stay you, stay uncompromisable, stay woke, stay royal, and I will see you in another video. Much love.